Hi guys, good morning. This is Srinivasan. Today the topic we are going to discuss from history unit number 8 nationalism Gandhian pass. Before going to the class, I'm going to give some introduction about this session. Mahatma Gandhi arrived in India in 1915 from South Africa. After fighting for the civil rights of the Indians there for about 20 years, he brought with him a new impulse to Indian politics. He introduced Satyagraha, which he had perfected in South Africa, that could be practiced by men and women, young and old. As a person dedicated to the cause of the poorest of the poor, he instantly gained the goodwill of the masses. Before Gandhi, the constitutionalists appealed to the British sense of justice and fair play. The militants confronted the repression of the colonial state violently. Gandhi, in contrast, adopted non-violent methods to mobilize the masses and mount pressure on the British. In this lesson, we shall see how Gandhi transferred the Indian national movement. So, the students, we should know the only one thing. The first time the Gandhi introduced non-violence policy, it means the Satyagraha policy introduced against British. The worldwide, the first time he only introduced and he started the agitation movement against the British followed this type of the policy. It means a non-violence policy. So it produced massive success to him. So that's why he introduced the same policy methods to India also. Let's we see what kind of the policies were introduced by Gandhi and how it produced massive success to him. Gandhi and mass nationalism. Evolution of Gandhi. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was born on 2nd October 1869 into a well-to-do family in Porbandar, Gujarat. His father, Kaba Gandhi, was the Diwan of Porbandar and later became the Diwan of Rajkot. His mother, Putribai, a devout Vaisnavati, influenced the young Gandhi. After passing the matriculation examination, Gandhi sailed to England in 1888 to study law. After becoming a barrister in June 1891, barrister means it's one of the graduate. It's produced by British government. After becoming a barrister in June 1891, Gandhi returned to India as a firm believer in British sense of justice and fair play. His experience in London had not prepared him for the racial discrimination he would encounter in South Africa. On returning to India, Gandhi's attempt to practice in Bombay failed. It was during this time that Gujarati firm in South Africa sought the service of Gandhi of assistance in a lawsuit. Gandhi accepted the offer and left for South Africa in April 1893. Gandhi faced racial discrimination for the first time in South Africa. On his journey from Durban to Pretoria at the Pietermaritzburg railway station, he was physically thrown out of the first class compartment. Indians were treated only as coolies, but Gandhi was determined to fight. Gandhi called a meeting of the Indians in a Transvaal and exhorted them to form an association to seek redress of their grievances. He continued to hold such meetings, petitioned to the authorities about the injustice which were in violation of their own laws. Indians in the Transvaal had to pay a poll tax of 3 euro, could not own land except in areas marked for them, and could not move outdoors after 9 p.m. without a permit. He launched a struggle against such injustice law. Gandhi was introduced to the works of Tolstoy and John Ruskin. He was deeply influenced by Tolstoy's The Kingdom of God is Within You. Ruskin's Unto This Last and Theore's Civil Disobedience. Gandhi's ideas were formed due to a blend of Indian and Western thought. Despite being deeply influenced by Western thinkers, he was highly critical of Western civilization and industrialization. Inspired by Ruskin, Gandhi established the Phoenix Settlement 1905 and the Tolstoy Farm 1910. Equality, community living, and dignity of labor were inculcated in these settlements. They were training grounds for the Satyagrahis. Satyagraha as a strategy in South Africa. Gandhi developed Satyagraha, it means devotion to the truth force, as a strategy in which campaigners went on peaceful marches and presented themselves for arrest in protest against unjust laws. He experimented with it for fighting the issues of immigration and racial discrimination. Meetings were held and registration offices of immigration were picketed. Even when the police let loose violence, no resistance was offered by the Satyagrahis. Gandhi and other leaders were arrested. Indians, mostly indentured laborers turned hawkers, continued the struggle despite police brutality. Finally, by the Smooth Gandhi Agreement, the poll tax on indentured laborers was abolished. Gandhi's stay in South Africa was learning experience for him. It was there that Gandhi realized that people of different religions, regions, linguistic groups could be welded into one to fight against exploitation. After the outbreak of First World War, Gandhi returned to India. Gandhi's early satyagrahas in India. Gandhi regarded Gopal Krishna Gokhale, whom he had met on previous visits to India, as his political guru. On his advice, Gandhi travelled the length and breadth of the country before plugging into politics. This enabled him to understand the conditions of the people. It is on one of these journeys through Tamil Nadu that Gandhi decided to discard his following robes and wear a simple dhoti. These things held on near Madurai at September 1921. Gandhi, before returning to India, visited England where he enlisted for the war to offer ambulance services. Considering himself a responsible citizen of the empire, he believed it was his duty to support England in its difficult times and even campaigned for the recruitment of Indians in the army. However, his views changed over the years. The first time Gandhi wore simple dhoti, simple clothes on Madurai at 1921. Since he died, he always would like to wear the Khadar type of clothes. It means the Khadar clothes. It's Indian made. It means he would like to support Swadeshi movement through this way. Champaran Satyagraha. In Champaran in Bihar, the Tinkatia system was practiced. Under this exploitative system, the peasants were forced by the European planters to cultivate indigo on 3/20 of their land holdings. Previously, about the indigo cultivations we have discussed deeply. Towards the end of 19th century, German synthetic dyes had forced indigo out of the market. The European planters of Champaran, while realizing the necessity of relieving the cultivators of the obligation of cultivating indigo, wanted to turn the situations to their advantage. They enhanced the rent and collected illegal dues as a price for the release of cultivators from the obligation. Resistance erupted. Rajkumar Shukla, an agriculturist from Champaran who suffered hardship of the system, prevailed on Gandhi to visit Champaran. On reaching Champaran, Gandhi was asked by the police to leave immediately. When he refused, he was summoned for trial. The news spread like wildfire and thousands swarmed the place in support of Gandhi. Gandhi pleaded guilty of disobeying the order and the case had to be finally withdrawn. According to Gandhi, the country thus had its first object lesson in civil disobedience. He was assisted by Braj Kishore Prasad, a lawyer by profession, and Rajendra Prasad, who became the first president of independent India. The lieutenant governor eventually formed a committee with Gandhi as a member, which recommended the abolition of the Tinkatia system, thereby ending the oppression of the peasants by the indigo planters. The success of Champaran Satyagraha, followed by his fruitful intervention in Ahmedabad mill strike 1918 and the Keda Satyagraha 1918, helped Gandhi establish himself as a leader of mass struggle. Unlike earlier leaders, Gandhi demonstrated his ability to mobilize the common people across the country. So the first time Gandhi got massive success in Champaran Satyagraha for following the civil disobedient movements. The same time he followed the Satyagraha policy in India. So afterwards he followed the same policy in India and get that slowly success through his ideas. The same time in independent freedom movement. It means that Keda Satyagraha and Ahmedabad mill strikes, this all the agitation movements were run by Gandhi following his ideas. It means the Satyagraha policies only helped them to get massive success. Rowlatt Satyagraha and Jallianwala Bagh massacre. In the aftermath of the First World War, people expected liberal political reforms from the British. The Government of India Act 1990, however, caused disappointment as it did not transfer real power to the Indians. Besides, the government began to enforce the permanent extension of wartime restrictions. The Rowlatt Act was enacted, which provided for excessive police powers, arrest without warrant, and detention without trial. Gandhi called it a Black Act, and in protest called for the nationwide Satyagraha on 6 April 1919. It was to be non-violent struggle with fasting and prayer, and it was the earliest anti-colonial struggle spread across the country. The anti-Rowlatt protest was intense in Punjab, especially in Amritsar and Lahore. Gandhi was arrested and prevented from visiting Punjab. On 9th April, two prominent local leaders, Dr. Saifuddin Kichelo and Dr. Satyapal, were arrested in Amritsar, leading to protests in which a few Europeans were killed. Martial law was declared. General Tyer's brutality. On 13th April 1919, a public meeting was arranged at Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar, as it happened to be Baisakhi Day. It is one of the spring festivals celebrated by Punjab peoples. In our Tamil Nadu, like a Pongal celebrations, they are celebrated as a Baisakhi Day. The villagers had assembled there in thousands. General Reginald Tyer, on hearing of the assemblage, surrounded the place with his troops and an armored vehicle. The only entrance to the park, that was surrounded on all sides by high walls, was blocked, and firing took place without any warning. The firing lasted for 10 minutes till the troops ran out of ammunition. According to official estimates, 379 were killed and more than thousands injured. Unofficial estimates put the toll at more than thousands. After the incident, martial law was declared and many people in Punjab, especially Amritsar, were flogged and forced to crawl on the street. The brutality enraged Indians. Rabindranath Tagore returned his knighthood. Gandhi surrendered his Kaiser-e-Hind medal. Khilafat movement. The First World War came to an end in 1918. The Caliph of Turkey, who was considered the head of Muslims of the world, was given a harsh treatment. A movement was started his support called the Khilafat movement, led by Ali brothers, Maulana Muhammad Ali and Maulana Saukat Ali. It aimed to restore the prestige and powers of the Caliphate. Gandhi supported the movement and saw in it an opportunity to unite Hindus and Muslims. He presided over the All India Khilafat Conference held at Delhi in November 1990. Gandhi supported Saukat Ali's proposal of three national slogans: Allahu Akbar, Bande Mataram, and Hindu Musalmahi Jai. The Khilafat Committee meeting in Allahabad on 9th June 1920 adopted Gandhi's non-violent non-cooperation program. Non-cooperation was to begin on 1st August 1920. After this Jallianwala Bagh incident, the British government provided more money and promotion to British officers general tier. And finally, he got a parliament member posting on British. After the 21 year, Mr. The great freedom fighter Jahid Uttam Singh killed him on London Parliament. It is one of the important freedom movement ran by Jahid Uttam Singh on London. Okay guys, our lesson came to an end. I will meet you on following videos. Bye bye from Srinivasan. Take care. I love you all.